right, boys, so we're back here talking about abilities. Now, today I'm going to give you guys my favorite ability lineup in Madden 24. And I just want to start out this video by saying there might be some cards that I leave off this video because I just like their abilities a little bit more for my scheme. At the end of the day, everyone has their own scheme, their own play style. What I'm focused on today, though, is I want to give each and every single one of you, regardless of scheme, a way to just deal with the meta on both offense and defense. And when we get to it, I'll talk about why I'm running certain cards in certain spots. So today we're going to be playing some people out of position. We're going to be taking advantage of literally everything we can, and we're going to get it started at quarterback. Now, quarterback, technically, I guess we have two options. Warren Moon gets everything for 0, but I think the obvious choice for just pure ability wise is Brady. Now, I think Brady's weakness is, of course, like 91 speed. Saying that's a weakness might be a little bit of a stretch, but we just have a lot better mobile quarterbacks and quarterbacks that are on the run. And I think the big three at quarterback is Tom Brady. I think he's more of like drop back pass type of style of play. We also have Robert Griffin as well. I think Robert Griffin's a happy medium between Tom Brady and then also Mahomes. Mahomes is like straight up rolled out every single play. Mahomes is my quarterback. Yeah, I think you have three options at quarterback, but the best abilities I think is Brady. Now, I will say as well, we're not focused on charge up X factors at all. I think charge up X factors are completely irrelevant on offense because on defense, we're going to be playing up against Aiden Hutchinson a ton, and he's going to counter everything. So those don't matter. Like Omaha and Brady, I would literally run this card basically 0 AP. Can spend a singular AP point, and we'll talk about it in a second. Gets baked on Fearless. Master Tactician, set feet lead. You could go like pocket Deadeye right here in this spot. You could go Gunslinger in this spot. You could go Protected if you wanted to. Really up to you. Gutsy Scrambler to eliminate like a lot of pressures, and Gift Wrap for 0, of course. But when I was talking about spending 1 AP, you could go like Master Tack or set feet lead here, then Gunslinger. And then in this bucket, whatever one you didn't choose, go like set feet lead or Master Tactician. It's 1 AP. And what that allows you to do is get Gunslinger and Roaming Deadeye on Tom Brady. So you could spend a singular AP point on Brady. I don't hate that at all. Now for running back right here, this is an interesting one because there's two cards that basically get every single actual ability in the game, like Arian Foster and Jamal Charles right here. So these two cards, right? And when I'm talking about abilities, I'm saying like Route Tech, Human Joystick, Evasive, like all those type of abilities. However, they don't really get the good baked on X factor. So I think it's really preference as well. I think Eric Dickerson is still great too. I think running back is in a super interesting spot because there's some debates, and let's talk about it. For me, I'm probably still going to say Perry is running back 1, and I like his abilities the best. I really feel like the rules of this game don't apply to Perry. Like his freight train for 0, his player model, he's a big boy. The tank, the evasive for 0. I love that ability stack on him. But the reason why I said there, it's an argument, right? So we're talking about meta of the game, meta abilities, what's going to be on defense. Well, I can tell you in this video right here, there's not going to be a singular defender that doesn't get secure tackler or tackle supreme on defense. So does that mean anchor runs and also freight train kind of bad at this point, or like not really as powerful? You know what I'm saying? Arian Foster and Jamal Charles definitely have arguments over because they just get so many more like base abilities, I guess I would say. Definitely think it's an argument, but like I said, I think Perry just, the rules don't apply to him. We're gonna go to fullback as well. These are gonna be a couple spots we spend AP points on. We're gonna have Franco Harris and also Trent Williams. So this is the first time I think we've ever doubled up on fullback, but these two cards right here are very impactful. Passive Vanguards, and they're both 1 AP for passive Vanguard. I don't really care about their other abilities. Their role is they're gonna pancake you. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna try to talk about ways that we can combat this on defense, but these two cards, headache to deal with. Passive Vanguard, that's why they're here. Now let's transition over to receiver right here. Receiver is going to be, I might get some hate, I guess I would say, because there's going to be a couple receivers off the list. Like I'm not going to have any of the fan appreciation guys. I get they get like everything for 0, okay? And my example, I'm going to use this card as an example too. This card is not here for me either. I am not having Marvin Harrison Jr. here. I know if you've watched my streams at all, been paying attention to anything I do, he's not in my top 3 people I can play at receiver. Let me explain why. So the biggest point of this video today, again, is to try to beat the meta. What is the like new meta on defense that's really becoming popular? It is the bottlenecks on defense. Ton of people want to run man coverage, put their controller down, okay? And Marvin Harrison kind of struggles versus that defense. Now, there are some things you can do. There's certain formations, certain alignments. There's some things you can do to still make him work. But in my opinion, you can already do that with the 3 receivers I'm about to tell you. And then also, you don't have to do it because they can insta beat the bottleneck. So in my opinion, I don't run Marvin Harrison. To me, he's not a top 3 ability receiver that we can run. And I get he gets so many great things, right? Like you might argue the charge up X factor, but again, Aiden Hutchinson's going to counter this. So to me, this is meaningless. The route tech, the evasive, the tank, I think the abilities that matter on the card. Evasive, tank's cool. The honorary lineman is actually really, really good. And like, I think deep out elite to help him get a little bit better sideline animations. Besides that, what can he really get that's like going to impact him? Short in elite, mid out elite, short out elite, all that stuff really doesn't matter. Even route tech as well. When universal coverage is manned up, because again, we're thinking about the meta on defense, right? When universal coverage is manned up to route tech, universal coverage cancels it out. So your receiver's not going to light up. To me, it's just, again, there's no point. And let me explain why these, like, again, fan appreciation, also Marvin's not here for me. Well, these are the 3 receivers I run. I think the number 1 receiver in the game is CeeDee Lamb. Number 2 receiver for me is Herman Moore. I know this is going to be kind of crazy because this is a card that has like risen like historically for me, like skyrocketed up my entire tier list because there is a meta shift in the game. And when there's a meta shift, sometimes cards that we kind of glossed over now become very important in the game. And at wide receiver 3, this is where you can play Marvin, but in my opinion, I want to play Evan Ingram right here. These are my 3 receivers right here. Now, why are they here? Again, ability-wise, like compared to Marvin, they get like the deep out elite. Evan Ingram gets the honorary lineman, CeeDee Lamb doesn't. But the big things is they get built on X factors, meaning Aiden Hutchinson's momentum shift not going to counter it. Now, what X factors did they get? CeeDee Lamb and Evan Ingram both get double me. And again, that can insta beat bottleneck. I will have my video dedicated to beating bottleneck at the end of this one. We're going to showcase that this works, right? And also Herman Moore gets that max security for 0. He gets jukebox and route tech for 1 AP. Max security does the same thing. And the ability you're going to want to look for on receivers in the future is double me, rack them up, or max security. All can insta beat the man press, not yak them up, not yak them up. That's why these are my 3 receivers right here. And in total on offense right now, we spent potentially 1, 2, 3, 4 AP on our skill positions. Kind of insane. We are in a crazy spot with AP. Now, we're going to go to tight end right here. I think it's a fairly obvious one. Once again, another passive Vanguard, Algie Crumpler, 1 AP Vanguard, just way too good to pass up in my opinion. Also gets the route tech and the jukebox as well. But for me, he could have got none of that stuff, just the 1 AP Vanguard, and he would have been right here. Amazing run blocker. And he's a little chunky little guy, but you know, he can't get the quick juke, but amazing card, gets the Vanguard. So now we spent 5 AP. Now let's go to offensive line. At left tackle right here, we still don't really have like a new meta one. We're just going to play Andrew Thomas right here with the secure protector and the linchpin. At left tackle. At left guard, I know a lot of people will have Russ Grimm. I like Big Q better because he's over 329 pounds. And also just not worth this price, man. Like, I'm sorry, 1.55 for Russ Grimm when you can get Big Q for like 1.2 mil less. It just doesn't make sense. And he gets all day secure protector. That's really all you need on your right guard. At center, I really want secure protector and post up, and Jason Kelsey can get just that. So Jason Kelsey's going to be here for us. And finally, at right guard right here, we're going to have Will Shields. Will Shields gets a beastly ability stack. Let's look at it real quick. Matador, recuperation, tough nut, whatever you want right here for 0. Can get all day for 0 right here. Can get identifier for 0. Can get nasty streak. Can get secure protector. Can get post up. And you could probably go like Matador right here and say like, I don't know, maybe like a natural talent. You know what I'm saying? This is a pretty beastly card right here. Definitely the best right guard in the game now. His abilities are pretty nuts. And at right tackle, rounding out the offense is going to be John Runyon. Now what John Runyon gets, secure protector built on for 0. Gets the nasty streak, all day threat detector. Now I think this card, because we have Will Shields with identifier, now gives you the flexibility to go nasty streak, all day threat detector. Beastly right tackle, 1 AP on him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 AP. And oh, actually I lied, it's 7 because Jason Kelsey with post up. My bad, almost screwed that up. So you have 2 remaining AP. Do whatever you want with it. Whatever your heart desires, you go for it. I'm so serious. You might think I'm kidding, but like we just have so much AP. It's like you can do whatever you want then. And now we're going to go over to the defensive side of the ball. So defense, I am very focused on one thing, one X factor in particular. It is the reinforcement X factor. So why reinforcement is important to me? I'm not saying it beats Vanguard every single time. Like if you check some of my recent gameplays, I have reinforcement on a ton of players. Sometimes I still get pancaked. I know that, but it gives you a chance. And that's really all I want. If I can disrupt them a little bit, if I can get them behind the sticks, that's the benefit for me. So on offense, we focus on beating like the bottleneck meta and just not losing to man coverage. On defense, we're going to try our best to focus on not losing to Vanguard. And a big part of that, the most obvious addition to the team, I think, is Aiden Hutchinson. This is a card that his X Factor is the main thing. He's going to be one of our 3 X Factor players. And the reason is his charge up momentum shift, man. He will cancel out all the charge ups. Like, again, he makes charge up X Factors on offense irrelevant. So like golden tickets, theme team all-stars, if they don't get passive X Factors as abilities, Aiden Hutchinson says, you're not playing that. So this is, I think, the #1 must-have player in the game, by the way, too. That's what I think. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, obvious addition to the team. Besides that, I do like the dual threat on him for 0. I like to put the lurker on him too, just in case I want to drop him into a zone. I like an under pressure ability, like edge shred elite under pressure, and also like an inside stuff. Like you can get super customizable with him. Now at corner right here, some cards that aren't making it for me. Night Train Lane and Ty Law. I'm sorry, but if you can't get secure tackler, you can't see my field. I don't care how many knockouts you get. If you can't tackle with how people play head to head, I can't play you in the game. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. They aren't playing for me. At CB1 right here, I'm going to have Mark Bavaro. Mark Bavaro is kind of like the final infinity stone for my defense. You know, I'm kind of a little bit mutt broke. This card's amazing though. He gets the reinforcement for 1 AP. He gets the mid zone knockout for 0, and he gets the lurk artist for 0. So you basically get universal coverage with mid zone and reinforcement. Gonna react to everywhere in zone coverage. And reinforcement, underrated thing is it'll get the knockouts in man coverage, but route tech will still activate, and it's not going to be like 1 step ahead or universal coverage like that. So they can still get like fried, but they can get the knockout. And yeah, so reinforcement, mid zone, lurk artist on him. You could spend the 2 AP on a secure tackler as well. I don't hate that for 3 AP. I really don't. I like it. I want Mark Bavaro right here with reinforcement for sure. So that's going to be our CB1, and we can spend 3 AP on him. We're going to be fine. This is the start of where we start to play some people out of position. Really like Ryan Neal right here. I really do. Ryan Neal, 6'3" height, 98 speed. His ability stack is pretty nuts. Now, this is a card I would recommend, by the way, and this is what I would run, okay? So the first off, this is going to be one of our X Factor players as well. I would run the charge up reinforcement, right? On for 6 plays, off for 3. On defense, these charge ups actually do matter because we don't have to worry about, say, an Aiden Hutchinson style player on offense yet, right? And he gets the baked on pick artist for 0 AP. Besides pick artist, what are we running on him? Instead of universal coverage, I actually recommend the tackle supreme right here. And the reason for that is, again, with the reinforcement, he can still be a hybrid player when that is on, which is the majority of the game, right? So tackle supreme for 0, deep out zone knockout for 0, mid zone knockout for 0, flat zone knockout for 0. And in this bucket right here, another thing I love on him is the out of my way for 0 AP. I really like that. I think the most confident I am in someone that is going to stop the Vanguards is out of my way and reinforcement together. So this is a 0 AP player for us right here. And I think he's just an absolute force on the outside. I think he's really good for some RPO style of players. And at CB3, this is another spot where we're spending a ton of AP on, but I think the card's worth it for this ability setup. It's going to be Asante Samuel. Now, I believe this is going to be the most amount of AP we spend on a singular player. Is it worth it? I think so. So Asante Samuel, right? This is a card that gets the bottleneck, and he's going to be our slot CB, our CB3, by the way. And I think he's great in this role, man. 98 speed, 99 acceleration, 5'10". That's the one weakness I guess is his height. So in the slot, if we want to man him up, we can press man him, and he can get the bottleneck animations for 0 AP. Besides that, however, he gets the reinforcement for 1, pick artist, tackle supreme for 0. What else am I running on him? Running the mid zone knockout. So in total, we're spending 4 AP on this card. It's a lot. With how good he plays, I'm okay with it. In total so far, we've spent 7 AP with Bavaro and Asante Samuel. We have 4 AP remaining. And at free safety right here, we are going to introduce a new card right here. It's going to be Ryan, not Neal. It's going to be Ryan Clark. That starts out at a 94. And currently right now, we can get him to a 97, which is cool. 97 Ryan Clark, beast. And he's like, I believe he's around 97 speed. The play rec is lower right now. I wouldn't be alarmed at that. I really wouldn't. And this is a card that's going to be even better once he gets to a 99. So Ryan Clark's abilities, right? Gets to charge up reinforcement. We love that. Also gets persistent for 0 AP. So he's got his reinforcement is going to be on for 8 plays, off for 3. That's the majority of the game for sure right there. And then besides that, gets everything for 0. What we were running on him, we had the flat zone knockout. We had the mid zone knockout. We had the tackle supreme. We had deep zone knockout, mid zone knockout. knockout. And then his final bucket, we'd probably go like lurk artist or like avalanche. Like you can get super customizable. Basically gets every single zone knockout you need, even at a 97. Gets the reinforcement, that's charge up, and he's gonna be a force on the run game. So this is another 0 AP player for us. Again, we spent 7 out of our 11 AP. This is a spot where I think you have so many options. I think it's just gonna be a universal coverage player. Now, an argument I'm gonna make for a player, playing someone out of position again, it's gonna be Darrelle Revis. Now, why am I recommending Darrelle Revis right here? When I think overall as a pure safety, I think Larry Wilson is a better card. The thing Darrelle Revis has going for him is he gets that baked on bottleneck, right? So if you wanted to, if you're in a spot where you need to run man coverage, Darrelle Revis gives you that flexibility with the bottleneck. So if you needed it, he can do it, right? And besides that as well, you get the secure tackler, the pick artist, and the universal for 1. So yeah, we have 3 more AP to spend on this defense, and we're gonna do it with linebacker. Now, right outside linebacker, I'm gonna have Kayvon Thibodeau. This, I think, is my favorite user in the game. I think this is an absurd price for Kayvon Thibodeau. Worth every penny in my opinion. This is a card that gets lurk artist, tackle supreme, and guess what? Reinforcement 1 AP. Love this Kayvon Thibodeau card. Now, besides Thibodeau, and also by the way too, I think of this card more as like a middle linebacker. And we'll talk about another card that can basically play where he plays like an outside linebacker role, like an AI coverage player. But at middle linebacker 1, I am going to have Terrell Bernard, meaning no one else on our defense is going to get AP, right? So Terrell Bernard, 96 speed, 99 acceleration. I don't really care about like really the stats at this point, man. It's just about the fact that he gets built on reinforcements for 0 AP. So besides reinforcement, like an under pressure style ability, because I like to blitz this card, so you could go like edge threat elite. I even put acrobat on this card. He ran like inside stuff as well. The mid zone knockout. The one knock on the card though is you have to pay 2 AP for secure tackler, which I think is well worth it with how good this card plays. Now middle linebacker 2, however, we're gonna have Junior Seau. So Junior Seau, again, I think he's an AI player. Bernard and Kayvon Thibodeau. Bernard's more of an AI player, but Thibodeau is someone you would want to use her. Junior Seau can play anywhere on your defense, outside linebacker, inside linebacker. He's even decent pass rusher. His abilities are pretty nuts. Does get a charge up X factor, but we already used ours, and he gets so many abilities. I would actually recommend the Stonewall on him right here. And you could go like flat zone knockout or out of my way. You could go mid zone knockout. You could go the tackle supreme. I do recommend that one. Yeah, I mean, lurk artist, mid zone knockout, and like avalanche as well. Yeah, this card's a beast, man. He is insane. Gets the best abilities for a linebacker coverage player, but I do like the reinforcement on Bernard. So Junior Seau's here. All right, now at left outside linebacker, we're playing someone, again, out of position. This is more of an edge rusher, and this is a spot we don't want to spend AP on. Whitney Merciless. Comes pre-equipped with that unstoppable force. We can run lurker ability on him. We can run the mid zone knockout, secure tackler, inside stuff, under pressure ability like edge threat elite. So this is a player that can be a hybrid player for you too. So he's one of our edge rushers, and we have 3 like actual linebackers that can do work. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be Julius Peppers for me. I know Ed Too Tall is just sheer amount of abilities. I think Julius Peppers in this style of defense could play like a DT. Julius Peppers, big thing, 0 AP, unstoppable force. Now a defensive tackle, we're gonna have Warren Sapp, and we're also gonna have Joe Klecko. And it's gonna seem insane to not have Randall on here. If you can't get secure tackler for 0, we can't spend any more AP. He can't be on here, sadly. So on Warren Sapp, he gets so many 0 AP abilities. I think he plays amazing. You could basically give him 0 AP everything. You could give him a Stonewall, which again, this is actually somewhere, this is basically saying you won't get a tackle battle. That's why I like Stonewall. Besides that, you could go like secure tackler, out of my way. You could go inside stuff. You could go no outsiders, interior threat, even lurker, pick artist, you know what I'm saying? Like you could get super customizable with this card. I just think his abilities are a beastly. And also Joe Klecko. The thing I love about this card is it's not that he's only good because of the Colossus for 2 AP. What I run on the card when I can't spend AP is run stuffer and tackle supreme and double or nothing for 0. So yeah, boys, this is my best ability lineup on the defense side of the ball. I think it gives you the best chance to deal with the Vanguard meta. Love all these cards, man. And finally, ending off with special teams right here, Justin Tucker for kicker and Pat McAfee for punter. Yeah, boys, this has been my thoughts on the best ability lineup in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Hopefully I was able to help you today. And again, I just want to like say this again. This might not fit your scheme. Everyone runs different things. I just think this lineup right here gives you the tools to deal with every single defense you want to in the game, or offense as well. It gives you the tools to deal with the meta, and this is, in my opinion, the best team in the game. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, who should have been on this list that I didn't have on the list. But yeah, boys, if you did enjoy the video, you enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. If you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here, because you need this free Ryan Clark.